Clemson University, now a shining example of higher learning, especially in the Deep South. But it hasn't always been this way, especially when it was founded. Clemson, before it was a university, was a plantation called Fort Hill. As with all plantations from the South, it relied heavily on slavery of African Americans. This is how the university got its large initial wealth. When Thomas Green Clemson died in 1888, he left his large sums of money and land to the creation of a college. At first, the university wasn't even a university. It was a military college that was founded in 1893 that opened with 446 students. All 446 students were at first white and male. This was the status quo for many years, as at the time, even though emancipation had happened, Jim Crow was still a major part of the South. Women, on the other hand, were thought to not need college as they were home caretakers.
Along with many other things, war advances the cause of women at Clemson. The first women to join the faculty of Clemson joined in 1917. They were asked to join to fill in the spots that were left open as many men went off to war. While African Americans and women were not offered opportunities to graduate from Clemson, other minority groups such as Asians were given chances to graduate from the university. Yukata Tsukiyama graduated in 1924 and was the university's first non-white graduate. Later, in 1932, more women were able to enroll at Clemson. This was done because as the Great Depression ravaged the world, Clemson was looking to expand its revenue base. During this Great Depression, there was an all-time low in enrollment rates at the university. The university had another great shift in 1954 with the Brown versus Board of Education verdict, stating that separate facilities are inherently unequal. Clemson officially goes co-educational in 1955 with the first full-time female college student earning her degree. Since the beginning of Clemson's history, it has been a major military school, but in 1946, as World War II drew to a close, Clemson's time as a military college did as well.
And finally, in 1962, there was a landmark case against Clemson College filed by Harvey Gantt. He claimed his acceptance was only denied based on his race, and after appealing to the Supreme Court, he was admitted to Clemson. While looking back, these events seem very violent. However, Clemson accepted these new changes with grace, especially during the time this took place in. Since Clemson had now become such a great place for learning, they renamed themselves Clemson University in recognition of their new programs in 1964. But while the number of African American students grew many, bad sentiments were still on campus. Even as late as 1968, the Confederate battle flag and the song Dixie were just being phased out, as Clemson took more steps towards integration. 1975 was the year that the university founded varsity athletics for women on campus, another large step forward for women having the same opportunity as men on campus. Leading more integration was African American James E. Bostic, who was the first African American to be a part of the Board of Trustees for Clemson in 1983.
And only 10 years later, in 1993, Patricia McAbee was the first female Board of Trustee member, leading Clemson toward more integration between men and women. Next year, in 1994, Alameda Jacks was made Vice President of Student Affairs, making her the first female to hold a vice president's office at Clemson. And in 2000, Rita Bolt became the first female undergraduate student government president. While we have come a long way, many feel Clemson is still behind on integrating other groups fully, with many people taking to activism on campus from 2014 to 2016, which has recently prompted the university to take many more steps to show its difficult past. So, in 2016, the Board of Trustees created a history task force to tell Clemson's complete history. So, while Clemson has had a long path to integration and equality, we have made humongous steps toward having a better campus, and as we continue through the 21st century, the future looks bright for Clemson University.